All right, country boys are back. How's it going, boys?
What up?
You guys ready to go back to the stands?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so here we are, episode 29.
Damn.
And we're going to our second stand. We've already been to Turkmenistan. Now we're going to Kyrgyzstan. Just off the bat, do you have any impressions, any feelings, any thoughts about Kyrgyzstan?
Harder to pronounce than Turkmenistan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
I don't know why
what it's called.
Turkmenistan just works.
Yeah, no, spelling wise, I think this is one of the craziest countries because when you look at it, it's like, duh, it's just no vowels.
Spell it one more time.
Kyrgyzstan. So a lot of Y's, a lot of Z's,
Kyrgyzstan.
K's, a lot of weird letters. So of all the stands, I think we said there's 7 or 8.
You said that.
I think on the last time we went,
I believe you. Either
I've
way.
told people this at parties. There's 7 countries named Stan. I can remember 2 or 3, so it's often not the best.
I think
lead-in.
there's Afghanistan and Pakistan, which they're kind of
yeah,
similar.
That's fair.
They're close, but they're not on the same level of the other stands, I think. So we already went to Turkmenistan. There's Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan,
Oh yeah, forget about that.
Kyrgyzstan, and then Pakistan and Afghanistan. So
And stands for, what does stand mean?
I don't know. I think just country or place of.
Maybe place of.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys know. You can tell us.
Yeah. Let us know
Yeah,
what
please.
stand means.
You.
'Cause all we know is just a guy's name. So
From a really cool song.
But I do remember though that at least with in Borat he referred to Uzbekistan as being assholes. You know, it's funny, but he's like they're assholes. I feel like that was in the movie.
yeah. So I think Uzbekistan is kind of like I don't know. I think they're a little different than the rest of the stands.
Okay, I'd like
But-
to learn more.
Yeah.
No
we'll
judgment.
get
I
to-
feel like they're probably cool people. Y'all are, maybe we're similar.
Yeah. I think regionally though, for some reason the Uzbekistan's a little different, but I don't know. We'll get there. So
Rain down harsh judgment.
so with Kyrgyzstan, so we said it's the second smallest. It's about 200,000 square kilometers, 77,000 square miles. So about the size of, I don't know, Nebraska-ish.
Okay, just good size. Yeah.
Yeah.
So decent size. The capital is Bishkek.
What'd you?
Bishkek.
That's easy to say.
Yeah. Easier than Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
And the population is about 6 million people. So of these 6 million, you got 75% are Kyrgyz, 12% Uzbek, 6% Russian, and then a mix of other, Jamaican, Filipino.
Oh really?
Wait,
No, no.
Jamaican?
There's probably 0 Jamaicans.
Isn't this place landlocked? I'm thinking from Jamaica's going to be hanging out there.
Yeah, there's probably no Jamaicans here, but it's probably a mix of other Central Asian people, Chinese. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that mix is, but that's the rest. So most of the people here are Kyrgyzstans or Kyrgyz.
It's like corgis.
A little wiggle on their butt when they walk.
And this is kind of like the corgi of the stands, I guess. No, I don't know. So language, they speak Kyrgyz, and most of the people speak Russian. So it was occupied by the Russians for a while. So still a lot of people speak Russians. I think Russian's kind of like the business language that everybody speaks, but everybody also speaks Kyrgyz.
Makes sense.
So religion, it's mostly Islamic. But I think with this place, they're not like a strict Islamic. It's kind of like by tradition, I guess, or just by being conquered. But I don't think they're as like hardcore as some of the other places. So you can like drink there. Because I think it's still Russian influence. So they like the vodka and all that. But so Kyrgyz means 40, or it's like 40 tribes, I think. So it's these 40 tribes that made up Kyrgyzstan originally. And so this is like the stand of the 40 tribes, I guess is what it.
All right.
I'm only gonna say that from now on when I reference this country.
It's like Rome, like everybody coming together kind of thing. Like, and they formed a government. Or not Rome. I mean Italy.
I think it's more like, I don't know, because all these people are nomadic too. They're all kind of steppe people. I think it's similar to Mongolia as far as the lifestyle and stuff. But I think there was originally these 40 tribes, and then they were just kind of all in this region. And I guess those are what are now the Kyrgyz people. But yeah, it's traditionally nomadic, a lot of livestock herding, not a lot of tourism. I think the tourism was like 1% of their total income.
Nobody goes there.
So nobody goes there. It's pretty untouched. Great place for country boys.
Right place for country boys. I was just gonna say.
But yeah, and then another thing too is it's visa free. So like some of these places, like Turkmenistan, was super hard to get into. You needed a guide the whole time. Some of these other places that we've been to were like that. This place, you can just show up, no problem. Off the plane, just kick off your shoes and make yourself at home.
Okay.
So pretty easy to visit. Like, and I think especially for some of these places where it's a little sketchy. This doesn't have that kind of sketchy, I don't know, Big Brother type feeling that Turkmenistan had. So
All right.
definitely different than Turkmenistan in a lot of ways.
So we're
But,
open.
hey,
We got some freedom.
as far as country boys go, that's our only reference in the stands. That's all we know. So, so that's the rundown. So let's get into the physical geography of this place. So Shane already said it's landlocked, super landlocked. Nothing. I think it's actually like the furthest country away from any ocean.
Wow.
Damn.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
So if there's a, I don't know, a
Like
big
a Beach
tsunami
Boys
or
song?
something. Yeah, they're probably not too into the Beach Boys here because they probably have no idea.
Or
what
they
surfing
love it because
That's
Yeah,
where
or
they
they
want
love
to
you.
live. That's
Yeah.
where they imagine themselves living.
Yeah. So yeah, when you're there, super landlocked, super mountainous. I think it's like 90% mountains.
Okay.
damn.
And it's also one of the least densely populated places in the world. I think it's like 30 people per square mile or something. I don't know. Like,
You said we want to go this place?
hey, look,
We might.
we might. We still have a lot of rundown to get to. But it's super like picturesque, super pretty.
Okay. All right.
A lot of people were saying it's like the Switzerland of Central Asia. I saw
Okay.
something saying it was like the Colorado of Central Asia.
No shit. Okay.
So similar landscape, tall mountains, some valleys maybe.
So decent
Couple-
climate, I assume. I mean, like it's not. Obviously, it gets colder up.
So it
there,
definitely gets
stuff like
cold
that.
because, so at least where it's located. So north, you got Kazakhstan. To the west, Uzbekistan. To the south, I think is Tajikistan, and then to the east is China. So it's kind of all in between.
Okay.
And the people look very like Chinese. Like it's
Oh,
with
okay.
some of the stands, it's
Yeah, when you say
more of like
Mongolian, that
Russian
makes sense. Yeah.
influence, but these people look very like Mongolian, Chinese kind of
Okay.
ethnically. But yeah, close to China, but more like on like Tibet side. So on like the far side of China. And it also, with all the mountains, it has the second highest elevation on average.
Oh no shit. Okay.
And I think we went to the one that had the first. I want to say Lesotho, maybe.
Oh, really?
I don't
That's
know.
interesting. Yeah. Lesotho
Maybe
is,
Bhutan?
That's where we were chasing waterfalls.
Yeah, it was either Lesotho or
Lesotho or
Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Were you there? You're the
I don't know if I was
crazy, sexy, or cool.
Yeah, I was.
So
I thought so.
Or I watched it.
When you were super
you
fat.
felt like you were
I
there.
felt like I was there.
No, I think you were there.
Yeah.
So yeah, super mountain.
I'm not one to say anything. I don't remember shit.
Okay, well, whoever, if you're watching, let us know what the highest one is because we went there. It's either Lesotho
And then
or
let us know if we were there.
Bhutan, and let us know if
I
Shane
could
was
see
there.
Bhutan being the other. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know, but
And I kind of get some similar feeling to Bhutan here.
Okay.
Bhutan had the you had to have a guide, right?
Yeah, I think
I'm pretty
Bhutan
sure you
it was pretty strict. There was no smoke in there. It was very green. I think they were like one of the most green countries.
Did we talk about that? Is it Bhutan that they talk about death every day? That like there's like 15
No.
minutes a day where they just like talk about death. Maybe this is a different country.
Huh.
But I heard
No, but that's
we're
interesting.
gonna look this up for y'all.
Yeah. Hey, all of our Bhutan
Bhutan in the
Bhutani
house.
fans, let us know. Do you talk about death every day? I mean, it makes sense because it seemed like they were pretty. I think it was the happiest place. Maybe that's why they're so happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just confronting everything straight on, just grabbing the bull by the horns.
Got that stoicism going on.
Maybe we should start the Austin Death Club.
Memento mori. We could do that.
Might get some hot goth
ADC. It's got
chicks and
it's kind of
stuff.
catchy.
Yeah.
ADC.
ADC.
Austin Death Club. What do y'all do? We think about.
We just talk
dying.
about death, but not in like a brutal metal way. But
In a
Not
more
a
like
skate
Bhutani
company.
Buddhist way.
Actually, we go rollerblading on Thursdays.
tight shorts.
Austin Death Company.
That's all
Yeah, I wear pads. What about it?
I like to stare death in the face when I'm flying down a hill on roller skates. So physically it's super mountainous, super picturesque. There's like 2,000 lakes, I think. So a big thing here is going lake swimming, finding some hidden lake maybe. That's a big pastime here. And one other thing that's kind of crazy is I guess a big region of the country is just a big walnut forest. So on our last episode, we went to Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
And there was a
Cashew.
the cashew. They were
Yeah,
the cashew
kings.
Wow.
Kings.
I love me some cashews.
I
So,
love cashews. See?
These are the walnut kings, apparently.
But I said I hated walnuts.
Yeah.
Really?
I do not like walnuts.
Interesting. Okay.
But I think we all agreed that Brazil nuts
banana
are
bread?
the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brazil nuts, stay away from.
I eat them every day. I think about you every fucking day. When
No, I don't mind Brazil nuts, but
yeah, I know.
I think
You're
I'll
a
pick
gross person. We get it. Yeah.
I'll pick walnuts over Brazil nuts.
Damn.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I eat fucking Brazil nut like every Tuesday and Thursday.
Is that your morning routine?
It's just in the
see if
mix.
they pop in a
It's
Brazil
in the
nut?
mix of nuts at the freaking office, and every time one of those bastards shows
Look,
up,
that's what my self-help book tells me to fucking do. Okay, like
Yeah, my company implores it. Eat this nut.
Tuesday and
They're
Thursday.
choking hazards, so be careful with those.
We're not always around to save you, man.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's staring death in the face.
Yeah, true.
That's
2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
you're living on the edge. So with all these lakes, there's one like giant lake. So it's Lake Issyk-Kul? Issyk-Kul?
it is cool.
It is cool. And it's the second largest saline lake in the world
Oh no shit.
Oh, wow.
after the Caspian Sea.
So these people super healthy? They just jump in there after a hangover?
Yeah, I don't know. I think so. But it's a big like touristy area, so you can travel around this lake, drive around the lake. I saw a couple people on my research were doing that, so that was a big thing. And it never freezes. It's pretty high up, but because it's so salty, I guess it
Yeah, that's
just doesn't
interesting.
freeze. So you can go there year round.
So wait,
That dick wet.
I guess I never thought about it in the saline. Like it's a salt lake. I mean, is
Yeah.
that essentially so like Salt Lake in Utah?
Yeah, so
It's the same.
It's the
okay.
same type of thing, but it's pretty huge, and it takes up not a like majority of the country, but it's a pretty big chunk of area. So hey,
That's cool.
if you're there and you're feeling cool, go to Issyk-Kul, cool off.
Nice. Thanks.
All right, so that's kind of the physical, mountainous, spread out. Not too much else. So going into the history, so it was first inhabited by the Scythians. Don't know who they are.
We're gonna look that up, and we're gonna.
They were the first people here. And then after that, it was the Turkic people. So I think we had talked about this in Turkmenistan, that they had some link to Turkey. And it was whoever, I guess, migrated from Mongolia. But it's like the same lineage, I guess. I think it's them, Turkmenistan, and Turkey all have some sort of connection as far as their ancestors go. But apparently the language, it's not intelligible with Turkish, but I think there's a lot of similar words maybe.
Okay.
So if you speak Turkish, you could maybe get by in Kyrgyzstan or know a little bit of Kyrgyz.
I know corgis.
Yeah.
Do they speak Turkish?
So then the Mongols came. Mongols were running this place for a while. And then eventually, I think it switched to Chinese and then Russian for at least the past like couple hundred years.
Right.
It was under the Russians' control. So up until 1991, and then they got their freedom, and then it's kind of been the same since. But I think it's been politically a little bit unstable. not in like a dangerous way, but I think it's just, you get some guy in there, they overthrow him. No wild and crazy characters like Turkmenistan.
Right.
Almost like when a college football program is trying a new head coach, and it's a really good college program or whatever, and then, all right, gone in 3 years.
Yeah.
All right, you suck. Okay, we're gonna pay you the rest of your contract, but get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
Right.
you get 1 or 2 losses, and it's like, oh, you're already in hot water. Leads to the wrong people. But yeah, no, I think it was.
We're an undefeated school. What are you doing?
How dare you lose?
But I think it was 2006 and 2010. Maybe they had overthrown their government or the regime or whatever. But I think overall, it's not like Turkmenistan where there's some crazy dictator or some of these other places where, they're constantly fighting. I think it's pretty low key, but yeah, just that's where they are now. So
That wasn't in the revolution, like around, God, wasn't it Ukraine? Didn't they revolt against their government around that time?
I feel like it was
Maybe.
about the
It
same
was a
time
little bit
because it was
later.
after late '89 or whatever when the Berlin Wall fell down, right? Or something.
Yeah,
was it
it's
'91 or I don't know.
So
2000,
91
yeah.
is when they got when they became a country.
Right.
Officially,
Like after
yeah.
the fall. Yeah, I can imagine there would be a little bit of craziness going on.
So culturally, this was a major stop on the Silk Road.
Okay.
So I think a lot of the stuff from the Silk Road was either destroyed or not there or whatever, but there's still some remnants. So you can see some areas if you're a big Silk Road fan, which we are. We're here. We're huge Silk Roads fans.
We are.
We love silk.
Got my silk undies on right now.
Another thing is they have this guy Manas the Noble, who's kind of like their big dog here. And this was going like way back, like 11,000 maybe. I think he fought against the Mongols, but I don't really know. I meant to look up more about Manas the Noble. Tell us a little bit about him, but he's everywhere. He's like their statues. He's like their George Washington.
They're Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah. Manas the Noble. There's an epic of Manas that's the longest epic, like poem, I guess. And it's 20 times longer than the Odyssey. And so there's a story about this guy.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was I want to say I heard like 500 pages, and everybody
Jeez.
has to read it, and everybody has to.
Know it by
know
heart
about
and recite it in class,
Yeah.
recite different lines in class. I can imagine. Yeah, do a book report.
Is this your lead in to what would the Country Boy epic be?
No, but we can go there. I don't think the epic of CountryBoyz would be too long yet until we need a little bit more lore.
It's like a punk song. It's like minute 51 at best.
Hardcore song.
Yeah, we could have our own punk song about us forming Country Boy Island, the legend of the formation of Country Boy Island.
But it needs to be like, the Odyssey. It needs to start in the middle of action. It's like just like shit swords clanking.
We got a guitarist and a drummer here. I think that's all you need.
Yeah,
That's true.
we'll pull out a song. We'll write the
Did
song.
we just start the side band for these two guys?
Yeah, we just did.
Here, for the next episode, we'll make the song, but then you guys have to read this epic and
Okay.
let us know how
That's
it.
fair.
sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll let you know which one's better.
So another thing culturally, one of the things that they're kind of known for that sets them out or sets them apart from everybody else is they have their own hat. So it's kind of like a felt, almost like a fedora, but like tall. And so all the guys wear them, and it's just like a white felt hat that I guess represents the mountains that are all around. So everybody
Okay.
wears this
peaks.
this hat. So that's a big thing. They're big into traditional dancing. So dancing there, so you'd flourish there.
Would I?
I've never
you
actually
seen
seen
me
Matt
dance?
dance.
Yeah. Don't you have like a breakdance troupe? Or
yeah, definitely.
Dance.
No, but it's like a weird
do
like
that.
they move their arms all around. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see their dance, but everybody's super into it, I guess, and they're all big dancers. But I'm sure they know what they're doing. But
Do you think they like Return of the Mac?
probably,
Yeah,
I could see him getting.
Yeah, that's a slap hitting. It's a hit.
But it's kind of like, I don't know, when you see somebody who's just like not really knowing how to dance and just kind of like flowing around. It's kind of what it looks like.
Do they do this to like all songs, or is there a specific song that they
I think it's more like
sing?
traditional
music kind of thing? Okay.
But I think now they have
They
more like
bust it out in the club.
it's like traditional music that's, you know, with like a techno beat behind it or something. So you have like the traditional old instruments, but then with a modern beat, maybe.
Okay.
So do they have clubs?
I don't know. So it's pretty spread out, and at least the main city, like there's Bishkek, and then I think Osh is like the other city, and I don't think they're too developed. Like there's bars and stuff, but a lot of these people are still nomadic or semi-nomadic. So most of the people don't live in the city, which is
What was the second city?
Osh.
I'm from Bishkek, bitch.
So I think Bishkek is like the newer city that's kind of more like Russian influenced.
Okay.
And then Osh, I think, is like the older city that was from the Silk Road.
Okay.
One of the other things that they're known for and that's very active here is, so they have these World Nomad Games, and it's all these crazy step games. So there's like horse hunting or hunting on a horse and eagle hunting. So like falconry, but with these like giant eagles.
What?
They do that. There's, let's see, Eilish, which is like belt wrestling, where I think you have a belt or you're attached with a belt maybe, and you're wrestling, and you have to break free, I think.
Interesting. Okay.
There's KERR-GEE-Stan, which is horseback wrestling. So and this is crazy. You're both on horseback, and you're like wrestling the other guy trying to throw him off the horse.
That sounds like fun.
And then they have...
Crazy, man. What are you talking about?
That sounds like getting trampled on eventually.
That sounds...
or whole body paralysis waiting to happen.
Can you watch this stuff?
Yeah. So if you just look up the World Nomad Games...
But you can go and watch the World
Yeah.
Nomad
So you can go to the
Games.
World Nomad Games, and there's people from like 80 countries. It's not just in this area. There's people from like...
Is America represented?
I think so. I think it's like
fuck yeah,
all over.
We got some
Sounds like a
kick-ass.
reason to go.
We got some kick-ass nomads in America, and people aren't talking about.
There's a lot of digital nomads we have in America who could...
Top tier.
That
Top
sounds like
tier
a
in the
reason to
world.
go. Period. Like I don't know.
And these nomad games look crazy. It's like you can stay in a yurt, go see all these crazy
Damn.
games. So some of the others,
split a yurt.
You know?
I mean, shit.
there's Shagai, which is like bone throwing. So you're like, it's like, I don't know if it's how far you throw it or like closest to the skull or whatever, but some old school
Form. Maybe it's just form,
yeah, maybe
you
it's
know?
just form. But
It's
that
like,
was one of
the
them.
floor routines for the gymnastics.
That'd be fucking.
How gracefully you can throw
Yeah.
a
How
bone.
graceful. Yeah.
There's a ribbon attached to the bone.
Like a
Giant femur, you know.
So yeah, I don't know what the rules are to Shagai, but Kok Boru or Buzkashi. This one is also crazy, and it's horse riders fight over the body of a dead goat, and then they try to grab the goat and throw it into a hole, which I read could be
Like
just a bunch
basketball.
of tires. It's like basketball, but with a dead goat on horseback.
Finally, a sport I can get into.
Yeah.
Dude, we're going to this.
And then there's also like archery, other stuff. But yeah, the World Nomad Games look insane.
Interesting.
And I think
I've
it's
never heard
they
of
have it
this.
in like different countries in that area around. I want to say in Turkmenistan they built like a big stadium. I don't know if it was for the Nomad Games, but some sort of like Central Asian Games.
I think that was different. It was more like a little more normal with like karate. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, you know, they maybe have some
Wrestling.
kind of wild stuff, but it's still not as like.
Yeah, so this
The
one,
Nomad Games is a little more extreme, like old school.
Sounds like it.
this one it's out in like a field in you know next to a bunch of mountains, and they're playing all these crazy games. So that got me thinking. We're gonna have our own country. We're gonna have Country Boy Island. What are the Country Boy Games? I think we need to have at least like 5
yeah.
games for our
Okay.
regional Olympics.
Sure. Yeah.
Leg wrestling.
I feel like
call it
Thumb war.
I mean, we're American. Are we talking about like?
indigenous people leg wrestling.
I think it's got to be something that we could also compete in. Like,
Yeah.
we don't want a bunch of people coming in from other places and showing us up at our own games.
So beer
Right.
pong,
Beer pong, I think that could be a good
Some
one.
drinking games for sure.
but
I think beer pong would have to be in the Country Boy.
I think it would have to be.
Yeah,
What, are we
I'm
thinking of like
down.
5 games that we would name?
Yeah.
I feel like we would all. No one's gonna veto beer pong.
Yeah, I think that's a
Right.
good. That's a good game, and
It's
it's
just a
an equalizer.
requirement. It should be the game opener.
Yeah, that's the opening ceremony.
Yeah,
or after the
exactly.
opening ceremony.
I feel like darts. I don't know. I don't know. I know that's pretty accepted, but I like darts.
I mean, I'd love that. If we could
I
get
like
it as
darts.
rowdy as the fucking English guys watching darts, that'd be awesome.
180.
The one thing with darts is I feel like there's going to be people coming from England to play.
To whoop our
There's going to be
ass.
people who's going to
That's
show
true.
us up.
Yeah,
I think
you're
we
right.
can dart okay at the bar, but
Yeah. Not on that. Not on a global level.
I think I don't know what's something else that or even
We
our,
gotta
like a
come up with some
made up
wild
game. We
games,
can
though.
make
That's
up
what
a
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. We need to make.
We
up
need
a
to
game.
do one of your somewhat reasonable, maybe not as crazy, scavenger hunts.
Yeah,
We could do a
You
team
do a
scavenger
scavenger hunt would be a good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we could make it wild. If it's our own country, we could do all kinds of shit.
yeah, that's a good one. All right.
You guys ever play like Ghost in the Graveyard or like I don't know, they're like you have to get back and someone's trying to get you,
Manhunt?
touch a tree or
Manhunt?
something.
Manhunt
like,
would be
yeah,
good.
I don't
We
know,
could
I
play
think-
Manhunt.
Yeah.
Manhunt would be an awesome.
Yeah, like a
Olympic
nighttime game. I think we need like a nighttime game
Yeah.
where like
Yeah.
you're hiding in bushes on this big this big property, the official country boy hide and go seek property, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
on like the main estate in the island, have the manhunt or what was the other
person
one?
hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Being
No,
hunt.
Manhunt.
No, we're not letting women. We're not letting women.
It's just still called Manhunt. Human has nothing to do with male or female.
Okay. All right. Social justice warrior.
I feel like some sort of because we talk about Jinkos a lot. Maybe some sort of game with Jinkos. Like,
What do you mean? What sort of game with Jinkos?
Like
Who's playing in my pocket? Like,
no, like you have to wear some giant Jinkos. You have to like jump in water so they're heavy, and then like do some sort of relay race. Some sort of like Jinko,
like an
like
obstacle
a-
course in Jinkos.
an obstacle course in Jinkos.
Yeah, like a Tough Mudder, but Jinkos.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
I
tough
also
Jinkos.
like
Your favorite Pac Sun shirt and some Jinkos.
It's almost like a potato sack race. You
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
tie
yeah.
your jinkos together on the bottom.
Oh yeah, dude, that's good.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Or you stuff the Jinkos with a bunch of like potatoes or something heavy to weigh you down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's Country Boy Island, right? So maybe like coconuts.
Yeah. Maybe like a.
So it's got to be a water
Coconut
sport.
dodgeball.
I think we need a water sport at least in this. We need something with
Just
water
jet
or a
skiing.
pond.
Jet skiing.
Yeah. I feel like Country
Just
Boys
jet
a
ski
stand-up
race.
jet ski. Stand-up jet
Yeah,
ski.
yeah, the old school ones, the old
school
Sea-Doos.
ones.
Yeah.
Like a race or like a trick?
Trick, stunting with some kind of a speed test.
Well, no, a race, but you get more points for the tricks on the race. We're talking
Style,
about Wave Runner here.
Yeah,
We're talking
okay.
about a video
you're
game.
You're right.
Yeah.
If it's an island,
Yeah.
A style jet ski.
no
race.
governor on that bitch. Like, we're talking like 85 miles an
Oh
hour.
yeah.
Someone's
We're
gonna
gonna
die.
get a company to come in and make us like retro 80s.
Yeah,
jet
yeah,
skis.
100%.
That's like we're not fucking around.
Right.
And it's gonna be a decent contract. Other sports. I feel like there's a lot.
All right, so we have water. We have a race. So Jinko race, the wave race,
Sure.
whatever. Beer pong, manhunt, scavenger hunt, something like that. Those are four pretty good ones.
What if we?
What other have we?
So we need something in the air, right? So what if we line 2 zip lines from like the taller point to the lower point, and you got to fight each other off the zip line on your way down?
Yeah, I feel like you just talked about the goat
Yeah.
wars. The
Yeah,
goat wars.
that's
That's kind of
what
like
I'm
we need
thinking.
our version of like the one guy has a piece of a turkey leg and he's ziplining down.
Yeah,
the
and you
guy
gotta
needs
get
to
the
grab
turkey
it with
leg
his
from the
hand
other
or
dude.
something. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
fight for the
goat,
turkey
I'm
leg on
not
the way
sure,
down.
like-
Goat.
So-
It's tasty.
Yeah.
So some sort of aerial wrestling
Yeah.
match.
Or like when they're like people can like they bounce, and they have the cables on each side. They can jump super high in the air.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some kind of an aerial thing like that.
Oh,
Or,
that would be cool.
And I don't
We
know.
could just make this like our version of Guts. We'll
Also,
just
I
get
meant
the
to say this
aggro
earlier
crag at the
is
end.
I would like to incorporate something from American Gladiators.
That'd be
I
dope,
feel like
too.
we need an indoor one. We need some kind of indoor activity. Like I don't know
Yeah.
if it's that dude with the cannon.
Yeah, and you're shooting the
there's
balls at you.
obstacles.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't know. I think that like
I say we add it. I mean, why not?
Yeah, these are our games.
yeah, these are our
And maybe
games.
that like American Gladiators, that's the final. Like only the countries who qualify get to participate in. That's like
Like in the American Gladiator final race that
Yeah.
you're talking about? Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
yeah,
sick.
yeah. I like that. Good job, Jeff. That's a
Sounds like
good.
bring in Storm.
fly
And,
rulemaking.
I mean, dude, if those games were a thing, imagine how many people would watch that.
I'd actually be worried the World Cup and things like that would be like not a thing.
Yeah,
anymore.
nobody would. Dude,
You want to watch somebody kick a ball around? Come on, man.
yeah, watch us kick a coconut in coconut dodgeball with Jinko.
Barefoot.
No, but like the only reservation I have about these games is it's going to get so popular that I don't even know if we'll have the infrastructure on Country Boy Island to accommodate it.
no.
Oh, and now our carbon footprint gets
Well,
big. You know, it's
You just
like-
make it really long, so it can't be like a short games. It'd have to be a couple months. We have one stadium, and all the events go on it.
Okay, yeah, just spread it out.
I've got the logistics going.
Yeah,
here.
okay, that's never mind. Worry gone. I don't know. Those. That's a pretty great list of games.
I think we got a pretty good. I think we need to do that in real life, anyways.
Yeah. Well, maybe before we get a country, we'll have our own Country Boy Games.
We start the Country Boy Games, and then yeah.
All right. So food and drink. What are you gonna eat when you're at these World Nomad Games?
Sounds like goat.
So the food's apparently pretty good. Everyone was like surprised. A lot of meat, a lot of like yak, horse meat.
Country
stews.
boys don't eat horse meat. I thought we.
I think we'll
that
have
was
to
one of our
here.
tenors.
But yeah, I think a lot of yak and horse, and then just a lot of dishes to go along with it.
You
but
mean cognac?
Yeah.
I don't.
Anybody
I
ever
don't
had
think
yak?
I've never had yak.
Has anybody really had horse meat here?
Never had
I
horse
made a
meat.
point in Vietnam not to eat horse or dog.
And this is always a joke about some of the restaurants that people have horse meat or whatever, right? Like nobody
Yeah,
actually
it's
does.
there's
like,
a
it's
lot of
not-
places
It's
that
not
do.
legal here.
I think it's legal.
I think it
Is
is.
it? And just
Yeah.
nobody. Okay.
It's just in bad taste.
So nobody's had horse meat or yak. So
No,
we have no idea what that. We have no frame
I
of
think
reference
yak
for
is
that.
just
Goatee.
cow goatee.
Yeah.
Probably a mix. I don't know.
Got
Interesting.
hooves.
The game of your cow.
Yeah.
It plays.
At the Nomad Games.
But
Probably.
one of the main things, so shashlik is like, I think just basically kebabs. They have these dumplings, manta.
Ooh, dumplings. Fucking love dumplings.
But yeah, a lot of baked goods, I think.
Got
I
to be
think
a good mix there. Yeah. I mean, like geologically area where, or geographically, I guess. Yeah.
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 So I
that'd be a
think you
good
got
mix.
Russian, Chinese,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern kind of all going on at once. So everyone said it's super meat based. So I mean, a lot of just like
What's the
grilled
seafood
meats.
like?
It's
think there's
probably
a whole lot of that.
imported.
Don't eat the seafood.
yeah,
maybe some bass
maybe something
They've
in
got
that
enough-
Salt Lake.
lakes. Yeah.
Oh,
not
true.
that. I don't know about.
Yeah,
Is anything in the Salt Lakes?
probably not too much.
I never
don't know.
thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sharks and shit. You know?
Well, like in Utah.
Yeah, there's sharks in the salt.
There's orcas in the Great Salt Lake.
Maybe we need to add some great whites to the Great Salt
Probably
Lake.
make it a lot of funner. Yeah.
Yeah, way more fun.
So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different dishes, a lot of different things, but a lot of meat, bread type fare. But then one of the things that's big there, their national drink, is kumis, which is fermented horse milk, which apparently is disgusting. Everybody was like,
That's a thing.
yeah. And everybody was like, you have to drink it there, because everybody will insist that you drink it, but they're like, you have one sip and you're good. So there it's a big thing, but yeah, doesn't sound too good.
Hell no.
No, that doesn't sound. No.
But hey,
I'll
when
drink
you're there-
milk too. Are you milk
I
drinker?
love milk.
Yeah.
I love me some whole milk.
milk. No.
I kind of
Oh,
broke
I
up
love
with
milk.
milk. It makes me like.
Some people got
gassy
over
or-
the milk.
Yeah.
At a certain age.
I mean, I feel like if it's regular horse milk, it's probably not bad, but once you ferment it,
Right.
Yeah, like why?
I don't know. And I guess maybe it's alcoholic, or I don't know, but apparently it's pretty rough. So
Yeah, we'll skip that.
yeah. So yeah. Well, that's just a little on the food and drink. Now we'll go into some of these activities that we're going to do once we're
More
here.
activities.
We're just getting to the activities.
I mean, the Noble Games were a lot of activities.
Well, that's like a cultural activity. This is like stuff
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
going to compete in the horse.
You don't know me.
Can't do that on a normal Tuesday.
Yeah, do you know how to chuck a goat off a horse? I don't
You
think
never
so.
know until you try it.
I don't think you're allowed to compete in the nomad games unless you're.
Yeah, you live in a house, dude.
Yeah,
Come
you
get
don't
go
live in a
go
yurt.
get a yurt, and then we'll fucking let you talk about getting trials.
So when you're there, you're definitely hiking. Tons of hikes, tons of outdoor activities. They have a lot of like multi-day hikes. Apparently they have I forget what the mountain was, but it's like a 23,000 footer. That's apparently pretty easy, like compared to, Everest or one of these other like super tall mountains. I think when you're here, you're doing a lot of outdoor stuff.
Right.
I think with this place, since it's not very touristed, it's kind of like it has the potential to have a lot of outdoor activities, maybe some whitewater rafting. This is one of the few places where you probably can't scuba dive. For once, we've
Right.
gone to a place where
That's true, probably,
scuba
yeah.
diving isn't a big thing. So definitely not scuba diving there. But yeah, horse riding, shirtless through the country like Putin, just going
That's the
through
only
some
way to ride a
woods.
horse.
What's the weather like there? Do we know?
So
Let me check.
it's cold, but yeah, I think it's pretty cold most of the year with it being in the mountains, but not like Siberia or something. I think
What was the average elevation? Did you tell us?
I want to say it was, I don't know, 3,000 something feet maybe.
So like close to a mile.
Yeah.
Average.
I think that's just like the average, but most of it's
I
pretty
was
mountainous.
overestimating.
I want to say this one that was the highest peak was like 23,000. I think Everest was like 29,000 or something. So
Jeez.
pretty tall, pretty
Yeah,
mountainous.
still pretty tall.
It's the Tian Shan Mountains, I guess, is like most of the country is just within that mountain range.
Okay.
And then one of the other things that came up was this Barana Tower. It's a large tower or minaret, which I don't know what the difference is, but they kept calling it a minaret. But it's kind of like this old tower that's one of the last surviving like structures that was on the Silk Road. But I guess it used to be an
okay.
old city, but it's this big tower. But that's kind of like their main tourist attraction. That's like their Empire State Building is this Barana Tower. There's a lot of hot springs, so when you're hiking, you can go into some of
Yeah.
these hot spring lakes. And
Kind of sounds like a Colorado or Utah.
yeah,
or
it's
something.
very
It sounds like
very much like Colorado. But I think once you're there, you're kind of, I don't know, you're super isolated, so not a lot of people around, so you can kind of
do your own
do
thing.
whatever.
Interesting.
What was it?
I just first like, man, totally okay to walk around naked in this
Yeah.
country. Like,
Yeah, you probably like if you're walking around naked in Turkmenistan, you're probably getting your dick chopped off. Here,
that's terrible.
here, you're no one's even gonna like. You might get your dick chopped off if you get caught, but no one's around to see you. So
Yeah.
you can you can go skinny dipping in those hot springs and you can even ride a horse naked if you want.
Just
Hey,
ride home on your horse to your yurt from the hot springs naked the whole time.
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
That's all I'll do.
You never have to put on clothes.
No.
Jason sounds pretty excited about being naked.
All right,
I'm
so
a weird naked dude. You know? I'm actually looking.
Riding a horse naked sounds pretty painful, though.
That sounds awful.
Yeah,
Sounds.
all right, so that's Kyrgyzstan. Mountains. There's some wild games, some wild activities going on, but
It sounds interesting as hell. Like,
but yeah, I think also when you're there, you could probably hang out with some nomads in their yurt. Apparently, the people are super friendly, super nice. I don't think they have like, at least like being American, there's not like hostility like when you go to some places. So
Right,
I think they're pretty cool with most people, and I think just being a tourist there, they're happy to see you. So you probably get a home cooked meal in a yurt,
some of that fermented
some
milk.
fermented milk that you'll have to drink unless you'll offend everybody.
Was there an airport there?
Yeah, so Bishkek and Osh, I think, are the two airports.
You don't come in on covered wagon with 4 or 6 horses.
I mean, you could make
Well,
a
I
trip
just know
out
if
of
you
it
have
too.
to
We
like
could go
fly
in-
somewhere else, and then
I know.
We
Yeah.
should fly
Boston.
somewhere else and go in through the Silk Road, like be like
Yeah.
old nomads, like CountryBoyz will survive.
Boys will
gonna skin a yak.
We'll trade some shit for some horse milk, horse fermented milk. You know.
And we're gonna turn it into horse ice cream. Blow their fucking mind.
And then
we're
serve it
gonna
at our games.
And
And
then we're
then
gonna open up a
compete.
food trailer to support our games.
Endeavors.
Fermented ice cream.
Coming
making.
soon, CountryBoyz will advertise there.
Games.
If you like the noble games, you'd love the CountryBoy games.
They're new, edgier. They're a little fresh.
We took this pretty far.
We did.
All right. So what are we thinking with Kyrgyzstan?
I mean, it sounds dope.
I'm going.
I'm going.
Sounds fun. Sounds like a fun time. I can't believe not many people go there. Like 1%.
Yeah.
Like, at least it sounds quite interesting.
And all the people, so everybody on YouTube and everybody who went there, they're all like, this place is awesome. Nobody knows about it. But once you're there, it's pretty.
I mean, we might
awesome.
get bride napped, but
Yeah.
Groom nap.
You might not want to wear those short shorts
Yeah.
over there.
hey.
You got those strong
Get scooped up
thighs.
real
Camera
quick.
up.
So yeah, now I'm in. Didn't know anything about Kyrgyzstan. Honestly, I was like, I've seen the word. I know it's like it's a weird country when you're just like, how do you even say that? But yeah, after diving in and doing all my research and talking it through now on CountryBoyz, I'm in.
I'm down to check it out.
I'm in. I looked at it on a map. I was like, oh shit, no water. But I didn't know about the lakes.
Swimming holes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm,
2,000
I'm
likes.
definitely going. Definitely going. This sounds awesome. And if you want to sponsor this Country Boy trip, please reach out to our Patreon
Yeah.
or
Do we have a
to our
Patreon now?
OnlyFans or whatever. We have a direct link to our.
Do we have all that now?
We
What have you
do-
been
we
doing?
do,
I haven't
we
seen you in a
do.
couple
Yeah,
weeks.
Yeah, I've been working. Jeff's got me working on the other
Yeah.
side of things.
You haven't seen him for a few weeks because he's been hard at work setting up all of our
Damn,
finances.
Jason.
Yeah, man. Country Boys. I've been. Austin Lager, do you want to sponsor us?
Send us to the World Nomad
Yeah.
Games and hey,
Yeah, I mean, we
Cool.
definitely got to go for that. I mean, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of ultimately what we would go for. If we weren't going to the Nomad Games, we may not go.
That's what
Like, I think you would have to
That's
go.
a high
if
season,
you were going to
dude.
go there, we would have to go.
you'd
when
have
those
to go
are
to
there.
these Nomad Games.
Well, I would
Right.
like to. Yeah, it'd be sick.
Absolutely.
Or even if it's not the games, like the trials, even like some sort of
Prelims.
trials.
The prelims.
the prelims. If it's just
Something. Just
them
got to see
trying
some
to
of these
compete.
events.
Yeah. I got to see this goat getting thrown into a whole game with a horse.
Oh,
That's-
that's where basketball started.
Yeah, that sounds wild. So
That had to be a Genghis Khan invention too. Like
Oh,
just
yeah.
everything came from Genghis Khan. Like,
Yeah.
hey, throw this goat head in this hole.
only the strongest warriors can throw a goat into a hole. All right, so where do we want to go next? What region?
Ooh.
So we were in Africa, the one before,
Yeah.
and then we were in
We got any
Central
Asian countries
Asia.
anytime? Oh yeah, we were in Central
just
Asia.
now.
Well, yeah, this is Central Asia, but have we got any Far East Asia?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Is there anything over
About-
there small?
What about Laos? Or Laos?
yeah. I
might
feel like
some-
there's still some smaller ones over in Asia. So
There's one that popped in my mind though.
we could do
We haven't
East
gone to
Asia.
Southeast Asia to those
Yeah?
4 countries.
yeah, we could do that.
Or landlocked one. Or I don't know. There's other ones that just popped in my mind, but.
What continent do you want to go? You're not here all the time.
But
You're
still.
listening to us. What continent would you like to hear next? Number one listener.
I like Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I like
food.
Asia.
Okay.
All right, maybe
Cool
we'll
people.
Yeah.
we'll do a Southeast Asia, somewhere tropical. Look, I'm getting cold just talking about being in Kyrgyzstan. So maybe it's somewhere to warm up a little.
Nipples
Yeah.
are getting a little hard.
Nipples are
Maybe
rock
an
hard.
island. Maybe
I've
it's
been
an island.
imagining being in the mountains for the last 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks.
Hey, is there an island we could go to in Southeast Asia? Or I'm sure there's some.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
figure it
well,
out. This might not
Jeff's
even
gonna
make the
pick it, and he'll
episode.
tell us when we get
Yeah,
to your house.
we'll just do the Vatican and then no.
Vatican. We didn't do the Vatican. We did
Yeah,
San
we'll
Marino.
look it up. But I don't know. Maybe
That was a good one.
maybe Laos. I feel like that
right.
could be a good one. That concludes Kyrgyzstan, and we'll see you in the next place.
Hell yeah.